Alright, so today I'm going to be installing some bifold doors, and I'm going to take you guys through the entire process and teach you how to do it yourself as well. For this job, I haven't even done the door jamb yet, so we're going to go through the full process on working out what size opening we need, and then going through from there, putting the door jamb in, installing the hardware, and getting these bifold doors in place. What I'm going to be doing is setting up pretty much two different sets of bifold doors on either side. They're both going to have two doors each, and they're going to meet in the middle. And the very first thing we need to do is work out the actual size of the opening and the size of the door jamb. So the first thing we need to do is work out the door jamb opening. And for the door jamb opening, we need to add the width of all the doors together and also add in all the gaps we need around the doors. A good rule of thumb is you always want a 3mm gap around the sides of the doors and above the top of the door. So since I've got 4 doors, it means we're going to have 5 gaps around all the doors at 3mm, which is a total gap of 15mm. So we need to add 15mm onto the measurement of all 4 of these doors combined. As I said before, I've got 4 doors at 355. 4 times 355 gives us 1420. So we've got a 1420 opening plus that 15mm for all the gaps around the door gives us 1435. Alright, so we're going to cut the door jamb to start with. The material I'm using is 110 wide by 18mm thick. So that 1435 we had is going to be in between the door jambs. We're going to have the side pieces going up on either side as well. So we've got to allow for 18mm on either side because another door jamb is going to come through and butt into that. So I'm going to add 2 sets of 18mm to the 1435, which gives us 1476 overall. And we're going to have our side pieces for the door jamb going up like that. But to lock it into place and make sure it doesn't move in the future, we're going to go through with this top door jamb. And I'm just going to rebate the top door jamb so that the side jamb can actually sit in it and it locks it into place. And for the sides, I've got both of my pieces cut here. And it is worth double checking the installation guide because depending on the hardware that you're using, you might need to leave more room at the top for that track to go through. And for the system I'm installing, I need the size of my door plus between 41 to 51mm. You can just do any size between those two measurements. The smaller measurement's going to mean you're going to have a smaller gap at the bottom. If you went to 51mm, it means you have a bigger gap. So I went right down in the middle and I made the sides of my jamb my 2015, which is the size of my door, plus 46. On top of that, I've also rebated the top of the jamb and I've added 5mm so that it can sit in just like that. Now I also realised when I was cutting this, I made it 5mm too big. I just did the wrong math, I said the wrong measurement, but I've realised that was wrong and I've gone back and cut this at what it needs to be. Now with all the door jamb ready to go, I might move this around the corner, just so we got some more room to work with, and we're going to glue it and screw it together. Alright, so we'll set this door jamb in place, and before we start screwing it off, the first thing we need to do is double check the floor level. And if your floor is perfectly level, that is great. In my case, it's not, and that side is slightly higher. And if the ground is out of level by a fair bit, I'm going to factor that into cutting my door jamb. And whichever side is lower, I'm going to find out how many mil that is lower than the other side, and I will add that amount to the door jamb so that it can still hit all the way down and sit hard down on the ground. In my case, the floor is out by about 2mm, and I'm not worried about having one side lifted up by 2mm because I will caulk around that. Since this side is the higher side, what I would do is put the door jamb in, and I'm just going to start by screwing that side off. I'll get that side good, and then I can level the top, and to make it level, I'm going to be lifting that side up, and we can see we've got plenty of room to make that happen. We'll get that jamb flush with the plaster, and I'll pre-drill 2 holes at the top. So at the moment I've got that hard to that wall, and let's ignore this plastering job, I'm still working on that, so we're going to send that back and make that look pretty. But on this side we have about a 15mm gap there. So what I want to do is half that gap, so I'm going to pack this side out, I'll slide a few packers in there, and I'm going to pull this out from the wall, about 8mm there, and we're going to halve what that gap is on either side. So slide those in, And I've gone through, I've put that stud in and made sure that it's relatively plumb. But because he packed it out by 8mm, it gives us heaps of room. So we can go through now, plumb the jamb up, and I'm just going to get a few screws and packers all the way down, holding this side completely straight and plumb. Alright, sweet, there we go. That first side is screwed off. That's straight and plumb. Before we start screwing off the other side, we do want to level the top. And what I'm going to do is just grab a few plastic packers. We'll start with a 1.5mm, and we'll sit that down at the bottom there. We'll hold this thing square, and we'll just keep playing around with it until we got it completely level. Alright, there we go. When we're happy with that, and we've got it level, we're just going to repeat the exact same process and screw off and plumb up this side of the jamb. And normally when we're doing door jambs, we're not going to be screwing up into the header. Because this one though is going to have a track that goes around and the door's going to be held into the track, we definitely want to screw up into the header. I'm going to get a double screw there. We're also going to do 2 about there and 2 about there. And I'm using the laser for this one just to make sure this is completely level. Alright, so we've got the door jamb installed, and now we can focus on the fun part and actually putting the track in and installing the bifold doors. Now for my case, as I said before, we're going to have a double bifold door, and I've actually bought these in 2 separate kits. So we've got 2 rails which we're going to put in, and they're going to meet in the middle. The problem we have right now though are that these rails are way too long, which you're probably going to get most times when you buy bifold doors. These are designed to be cut back. What we want to do though is actually cut them where they meet in the middle. And I'm going to loosen that, and I can slide this all the way back there for now. And I might do that for the other one as well. And our overall in-between measurement was 1436, I believe. So we do 1436 divided by 2. We want both tracks to be 718, but I'm actually going to take 3mm off them. So we're going to cut these both at 715 from the pivot side, which is this side here. Alright, cool. So now our tracks are going to go on across the top, and we can see they fit in there quite nice and snug. And with your tracks, they might look a little bit different, but you're always going to have a pivot point like that, and that's going to be where your doors pivot from. So in my case, what I was saying before is we're going to have 2 sets of pivot doors, so both of those are going to be on the jamb side. And then both of the doors are going to pivot open and slide that way. We're going to screw this on. I do want it smack bang in the center of the jamb, and our jamb is 110, so I'm going to mark 55mm. And I'm just going to transfer that mark the entire way across. And what we can do is, starting with one of these, we'll get a 3mm packer, hold that there, and we can see they've got these pre-drilled holes going along it the whole way. That is going to be where we screw this into. We've got one in there as well. So I'm going to line that up with that centered mark that I just did. And when I'm happy, we're going to use a pre-drill bit and mark all those holes. And then we'll do the exact same thing with this track, making them meet in the middle. So there we go, there's a track done for the top. And for the bottom, we're going to have a pivot bracket like this, which goes on either side. I'm just going to chuck mine down now, directly centered with the jamb, and we're going to screw it into the jamb and down onto the floor as well. Alright, so the jamb's all prepped. We've got the rail on at the top, the pivot brackets at the bottom, and now it's time to pull out the doors and we'll start to get these ready. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is go through and we're going to put 3 hinges on both sets of these doors. And what we're going to do is put them on 75mm up from the bottom, down from the top, and then we'll chuck one directly in the middle of the doors. Alright, there we have it. The doors are ready to go. And the next thing we need to do is attach these to the doors. This whole bottom bit here goes down into the door, and then that will sit in that hole up there, meaning the doors can pivot on that point. We're going to do the same thing with the bottom as well, and do another one, which is just going to sit in there at the top, and that's going to drag back and forth when the doors open and close. So for this, we're going to lay these doors down once again. And you may want to double check the installation instructions, because depending on what hardware you're using, it could be different. For me though, I'm going to go 22 mil. So I've got a mark directly centered in the door, coming up 22 mil. And with a 7.5 mil drill bit, we're just going to drill that out. And then we're going to tap this piece in there until that's nice and snug. So we've got that first one there. I think I said the wrong thing. That's a guide door. So we're coming in 22 mil for the guide door, and for the pivot door, we're actually going to come up 32 mil. So that's the top's done there. And for the pivot door, we can spin this around. And for that pivot door, we're going to do the same thing. Come up 32 mil, and we'll drill that one as well. And for the bottom, we're putting this piece in, and we can actually see that you can adjust the height on that one. So for now, I'm just going to chuck it in, but if the doors don't fit or we want to change the height, this is how we do that. So I'm going to push it in this way. And we're going to play around with these and move them back and forth once the doors are in, just to get the spacings right. And I'm going to pull them off the wall by about 35 mil, which gives us that 32 mil to where we drilled that hole in there, and also gives us a 3 mil gap. And same with this bottom one, I can loosen that there. We've already got it loose, and we'll go 35 mil and tighten that in place. And it's going to be a bit tricky, but I want to get that bottom pivot. In first. Then we should be able to hold that down and guide that into its spot there, and do the same with this one. Push that down, and that's in place like that. But there we go, that's nice. Actually seeing them work, they glide quite well. What we'll do is put the other two doors in, and then we can start playing around with the heights, making sure we get the right margins around them, and making everything perfect. Alright, there we go. We've got the doors up. Obviously, there's still a few big eyesores that we've got to fix. The first one is this massive gap in the middle. We can see it's not too bad from the bottom. It gets really bad by the top. But the other eyesore we've got is this huge gap at the top here as well. So we'll do a bit of work now, just raising the bottoms up to get the heights better. And then, obviously, if we look at the sides, I must have set that bottom bracket too far in that way, because you've got a big gap at the bottom, small gap at the top. And now it's taking me a bit of time just readjusting everything, moving the doors around. This normally does take a little bit, but we'll get everything looking good. We'll get the gaps all right, and then we can move on with the job to the next step. All right, so I've got the gaps as good as I'm gonna get them. Unfortunately, this is the smallest gap we can do in the middle of the doors, because once you go to open them, they do bend inwards, and they will eventually go through and hit each other if the gaps are any smaller than what we got there. A few other things we do need to do though is install the handles, and also do the architraves, and we're going to put a door stop on, which is going to hide and block out that track that goes through there. So we might start with that door stop, and if we just get a measurement, it's that same 1435 that we had earlier, 1436. And you can see that we still have a bit of a gap there. And unfortunately, we can't get that to 3 mil. Otherwise, we just won't be able to get those pivot points in there. But I can still raise the doors a fair bit more, which I will do in a second. Alternatively, you can use a thicker material for the doorstop at the top there, but I've mainly got that in just to hide the side profile of that track running through there. We'll go through and shoot these architraves on as well. So we've got the architrave around the door as well. We'll also go through in the inside and put an architrave in there. The last thing I really want to do now is put a door handle on. Every time I try to open it, I'm getting my fingers up there to open the door. And one thing we'll notice is when you go to put your door handle on, which in this case, I'm just going to do a couple knobs, you'd want to put them in the middle. And that's where it's going to look best. But the problem is, you can see if I try to open the door, pulling it right there, you don't get anything. You really need to try to open the doors for where the hinges are. So if the door handle is closer to the middle part here, it's going to open even easier. I reckon the best bet though for your handles is having them directly in the center of this door. That way it still looks kind of even, and if you open it from the center, you can get those doors to pivot. I reckon that job is pretty much done. We've got the bifold doors, they open really smoothly, they shut and lock in place. Obviously though, they do need to get painted. So what I always do whenever installing doors or anything at all, you'd go through, install everything, put the handles on, put the hinges on, and once everything's installed, then I'll unscrew everything, take everything off, then we'll paint the whole lot. But in terms of the installation, I hope that helped, and that is how you go through and install some bifold doors.